Rick Roscoe, or our moderator.
We have about 2 minutes.
Remember the old days when at 11:30 we wouldn't even try to make that noise? Now there's the internet, we just post whenever. UC Davis is en route. They should be here momentarily from the other side. In the meantime, a few notes, courtesy of Mike Gilmore of the Big West. Let's see. UC Davis and Cal State Fullerton played their 19th overtime game in Big West tournament history. Not their, played the 19th overtime game in Big West tournament history. UC Davis advances to the program's first Big West tournament championship. The Aggies were 0-2 in their 2 previous semifinal appearances. UC Davis improves to 21-12 overall. That's the second most wins in the school's Division I history and under Jim Less. Chima Monike, put back with less than a second to go, came off his 14th rebound and 16th game this season. He has had 10 or more rebounds. So it's his 14th rebound. It's the 16th game this season. He has had 10 or more rebounds. He added 19 points to secure his league-leading 13th double-double this season and the second of the Big West tournament. He's averaging 15 points and 16 rebounds in 2 tournament games. UC Davis and UC Irvine's final will be the second tournament meeting between the 2 programs. The Aggies defeated the Anteaters in the first round back in 2009. UC Irvine and UC Davis split the regular season series in the last meeting, a 79-49 UCI victory. Monecki was held to no points on 0 of 8 shooting. Coach, you're right here. So we will open up with a statement from the coach, then we'll throw it open to questions. Please identify yourself and your affiliation, and we will call on you in the order I see you. Please be sure to speak up because it's kind of hard to hear up here as well. So Coach, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thanks everybody for staying up late night with the Aggies. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been doing this for a while now. I said to the team in the locker room that I'm not sure. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of a guttier performance. I thought these guys showed a lot about who they are and the character, their makeup, their resiliency, their toughness, and their refuse to lose mentality. It was just awesome to be a part of, and glad they got the result that they were fighting so hard for.
We'll start with questions for the student athletes, preferably. We'll start right here, please.
Robert Morales, who's kind of registered. Chima, congratulations. When the shot went in there at the buzzer, what was your first thought?
I thought about the Long Beach game where it didn't count, and I was just making sure that it hit zeros and I got it off before. And you know, I was just relieved because it was a tough game, one of the toughest games I've ever played in. And you know, it just feels good to win a game like that for sure.
Just a follow-up, was that, sorry if I reminded you, but was that the game last Saturday where you know what happened, you guys lost the third, you had the fourth, right? How bad did you want to get a shot here?
That's what I was looking forward to, especially after that game. they took it to us. They were the better team that night. They took me out of the game. And yeah, to go to March Madness, I want to beat the best, and I don't want no asterisk. So that's why I'm glad that they won against Long Beach, and we'll bring it tomorrow night for sure.
Joseph?
Joseph Tiffany of Sacramento Bee. Britton, you scored 9 points in overtime. What did you see that Fulton was able to give you defensively, or was it just a matter of you just taking charge in that period?
Well, like as a senior, I think it's my responsibility to step up and make plays. Whether it's offense or defense, and I saw the kind of defense sag off a little bit, and they weren't really hedging my screen really hard. They were playing all guard, so I was just trying to be aggressive. I knew we were in the bonus, and make good plays, for the team, and have the mentality to not lose. So. I'm a senior, and I want this, and I want this for our team, and we deserve it. So.
And a follow-up to Chima. Once Seiler made that shot and missed, what was it? How do I put this? What was the scene underneath? I mean, how physical was it? That sort of thing?
On that last play?
Yes.
I knew when Silas shot it, there was time left on the clock, and I saw Khalil Ahmad. He didn't box out, he was just watching the shot, so I snuck in, and I realized that if he missed, I'll get the offensive rebound, and I feel like that's what I did.
Were you a little surprised to have it just kind of plop right into your hands like that?
Yeah. It was really surprising, but I try to stay cool, and I knew there was enough time to get it up and in, and I feel like I did that.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Go ahead, Joseph.
I'll throw this out to both of you. What, generally speaking, makes Irvine unique among the teams in this conference, and what makes them particularly difficult to play against?
I would have to say, they're very well coached. They play defense really well. They play tendencies really well, and you can tell that they look over their scouting and they know what they're doing. So we know that tomorrow it's going to be a game of who's the best defense. So I would have to say that they just they play defense really well, and they know tendencies.
Personally, I would say that they stay big on the court, and they dominate on the glass, and they play really good defense, and they have a lot of depth, so they always making subs and keeping guys fresh, and like Brenton said, they were very well coached, and yeah.
Okay. Any more questions for the student athletes? Seeing none, we'll let them go. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Say, Joe. Check
What-
two.
Questions for Coach? Start here and then go there.
You had one basket on your first 14 possessions. What was going through your mind?
Well, I thought we were just playing fast and rushed and trying to, make plays and do them off of one pass, and that's not really when we're most effective and most efficient. So, fortunately, there was a timeout in there, and we were just able to settle everybody down, and I think the guys were so amped up and wanted to do so well so early. They wanted to win the game in the first couple minutes and do it by taking a lot of jump shots and contested jump shots. So I was really happy they were able to settle in offensively the rest of the half, and their execution was much better. And the other thing we talked about as a staff and communicating to the guys is until the ball starts dropping, stay solid defensively. Your defense is going to keep you in the game until we make a run on the offensive end. And they were mature enough to do that. And I thought, again, tonight, their defense, we held a really good offensive team, a 32% shooting. And that was a complete team defensive effort. Thank you.
Robert, go ahead.
Coach, kind of the same question I asked you. How important was it for you to get another chance or this season?
Well, we're preaching a survive in advance and stay attuned to the process of the game and the opponent we're focused on. And we watched the game. I didn't necessarily have a horse in the race cheering for one or another. But I do know I have a lot of respect for Russ and the program that he's built and the team that they have. And we'll get back to work tonight and tomorrow trying to come up with a game plan to play against them. But I'm not saying I was wishful I would play Irvine, but I respect them, and we're looking forward to the challenge to compete tomorrow night.
Joseph?
Joseph Tippinito, Sacramento being here. Coach, what was pivotal in your recovery from that 9-1 deficit early in the first half, and what kind of adjustments did Fullerton make to catch up later in the second half?
Well, I think a couple things. One, as I said, I thought our guys made some second and third effort defensive plays, which kind of got us going. And then I thought JT and Lawrence hit the offensive boards. We talked about that at the first time out. Okay, we're not scoring, we're not shooting a good percentage. Let's get some second chance points. I think both those guys on both ends of the floor, and we talked about it at halftime, ignited us with their energy and enthusiasm and second effort plays. And it's amazing how infectious that energy is. I thought we had some disappointment lags in the second half. We got up to a lead. I think it was 9 points at one point, and again, we had missed a couple easy opportunities. We missed a couple free throws, and I thought we took that to the defensive end. We weren't quite as sharp, and that's a team that can score points in a hurry, and to their credit, they did that.
Good.
How would you describe that final sequence of the shot and Jim standing alone there?
Well, it's interesting because at the end of regulation, we spent the majority of our time out talking about the second chance opportunity, and you see that happen all the time in a tip-in, and we were able to get the stop and that rebound. And coming back, we wanted the ball in Britton's hands. He took it out of his hands. He made the right play to Siler. Siler took the shot, and Chima, he's got a knack and a nose for the ball. And it's no coincidence that he has as many double-doubles that he has, and he rebounds the ball as good as he does. And he finds a way. He's really good at adjusting to the flight of the ball, and he's got quick twitch muscles. So when he got that thing, his instincts to get it back up on the rim and make that shot and stay calm and cool, I think was something that we all appreciate about him. We see it every day, but for him to do it on this stage at that time, I think says a lot about him and what a big-time player he is.
Any more questions? Last call. All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Britton Lamar, this is 28th double-figure scoring game of the year, 9th 20-plus point game of the year. Chima Maneki now has a league high 15 double-doubles, 3 in the last 5 games. This is UC Davis's first appearance in the Big West Tournament Championship since it joined the Big West Conference. First season, 2007-2008.
All right, we're joined by Coach Taylor. Same procedure. We'll open up with a statement, then throw it open to questions. Again, please identify yourself and your affiliation, and please be sure to speak up. Coach, the floor is yours.
I'm obviously disappointed with the outcome, but most importantly, I'm proud of this group of guys, the way they fought, the way they battled, the way they handled themselves. Just disappointed that those two teams battled as hard as they battled and weren't allowed to battle each other to the finish. That's super disappointing. but nonetheless, extremely proud of our group. Disappointed for them. I hurt for them because I thought they played their behind off out there on the floor. But this will sting for a little while. It definitely will, but I think when we look back and realize how far we have come, I think we'll be excited about what we've done, and I think we can be excited about what the future holds for this ball club, or excuse me, this program.
So, okay, go ahead, sorry.
Robert Morales, kind of registered coach. The last play there, when she was put back, it looked like she was not boxed out at all. All the totally just jumped up. Is that what you saw? I mean, is that maybe even more disappointing that you just kind of had an easy time to go back?
Yeah, I thought that was a part of their game plan, and they executed it very, very well to attack us on the glass. We got to a point to where we had to play 5 guards just because the way the whistle was going. We ended up having to play 5 guards, and so that was a strategic move, I thought, with Davis's part, just to physically beat us up, and I thought they were allowed to do that tonight throughout the course of the game. From the onset, it was very apparent that they were going to be allowed to be more physical than my group was, and I think all the way down to the end of the possession there, I don't know, my vantage point, I couldn't really see in terms of if there was contact or not, but I mean, you have to tip your hat to UC Davis and particularly to Maneke. That's what he does. He's extremely aggressive. He's extremely physical. I think he set a Big West Conference record last night with rebounds, and I think he continued that tonight. And that's an area where I thought if you look at the end of the game stats, the rebounding would be able to tell you who won. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the way it bared out.
Did you have a question? No. Are you in the back there, please?
Coach, you mentioned how much your team has changed. Is there anything specific that sticks out to you that you see in you now that makes it so apparent this past season?
Yeah, I think this group is together. I think they're fighting for each other. I think they're fighting together, and I think that's the most important part of everything that we've been able to accomplish towards the latter part of the season. It was a rocky road at first. I mean, we had all kind of whatnot going. We had a bunch of new faces, a bunch of unfamiliarity with how we do things. But once we got everybody together and got on the same page, I thought this was what we could achieve, and it's super nice to see this group of guys come together the way that they did after some of the struggles that we had and some of the inconsistency that we showed as we grew together as a group. And again, I think that's what I'm most proud of as far as the head coach of this program, is just how this group responded through all types of different adversities. They responded the right way, and I thought tonight was indicative of our response. We had all kinds of different lineups out there. Wasn't our normal lineup, wasn't our traditional lineup, but these guys found a way to continue to fight, to stay in the game and make the necessary plays to give themselves an opportunity to earn the right to come back tomorrow. We just fell short.
Robert, go ahead.
Coach, how much of your 32.8% shooting was because of their defense? They didn't have a shot.
Yeah, you have to credit them in that area. I mean, I think they might be second in the conference in terms of defensive field goal percentage, and they've earned that right. And tonight we knew that coming in. I thought tonight you had 2 of the top 3 defensive teams on the floor, and shooting in this arena is not easy. And I thought that played to both teams defensively, but I thought they had a huge advantage at the rim in terms of offensive rebounding and got quite a few second chance points. And I thought that was the difference in the game in terms of just being able to score. I thought we both defended each other's actions and made each other go to a secondary or a third type of action to score, and it became a deal where you just throw it up and go get it, and the toughest man wins.
Any more questions for Coach Taylor? Right here, please.
Coach, I've been seeing
It's bittersweet, because I feel like those guys deserve the opportunity and they earned the right to be able to come back tomorrow. Unfortunately, the ball didn't fall the way we were hoping that it would, but it was rewarding, I think, most importantly for them. because of the sacrifices they've made, the journey that they've taken to get where they are today. And I think they will look back and be most proud of what they've learned, hopefully, and how they've grown individually, and then help the guys around them to grow. Because you look at those two guys in particular, they come from totally opposite ends of the world. Lionheart Leslie's from Helmo, Louisiana, and I don't know if you've ever been to Helmo, but it's a place you should put on your bucket list. And then Trey Coggins is from sunny Southern California, and their upbringing was completely different, but they're bonded by basketball, they're bonded by a toughness, they're bonded by a competitive spirit that I thought we saw particularly on display tonight, and that's what I'm most proud of about those guys. And it sucks, just simply because you'd like them to see them, you'd like to give them another opportunity to do it again tomorrow, but unfortunately it's not going to happen that way.
Coach, you weren't able to play Jackson Road tonight. Obviously, he would have felt inside with you. You know, obviously, that was a tough part tonight, part of the problem inside.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, you know. Jackson's dealing with an injury, and for the most part, we've made it through the season injury-free. And it's just unfortunate that it snuck up and bit us in the behind when it did towards the end of the year. And to this group's credit, without Jackson, I thought we still battled and handled our own and still made it a competitive game tonight. And we knew that inside we would be limited without Jackson, because, I mean, the kid's averaging almost a double-double. And you throw that into the game tonight, I'm not saying we win, but I think there's a different type of game if he's on the court. But again, no excuses. You tip your hat to UC Davis. They won the ball game. We wish them all the best tomorrow. And I'm hoping that the Big West will be on full display tomorrow in the championship game, and the rest of the world gets the opportunity to see that this league has tremendous coaches. It has tremendous players that are competitive, and everybody is wanting to earn the opportunity to go and play in the NCAA tournament. So I wish those guys all the best, and I'm excited for the Big West to be on full display tomorrow, and I think the world will see how good our league is.
I think we'll wrap it up right there. Thank you, Coach Taylor.